Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. And yes, I'm going to do yet another video on SDC or SmileDirectClub. No matter how you felt about them, there are definitely things you should be considering in tweaking how you practice now that they have gone downhill. There are over 2,000 patients I think in the US alone, that are either going to need cases finished or are going to need a retention plan. And I guarantee you have dozens in your practice. They are there, you just probably don't know who they are. So it really is a good idea for you to consider, and I've heard some other podcast hosts saying this, putting something on your social media, putting a little note in your office, just saying if you were one of these patients, contact us. We can see if we can help you. So let's talk about what the good parts of Smile, what they did that was innovative. And a lot of you are probably already doing some of this, but if you're not, you should really consider it, because these are the components that attracted the patients to SmileDirectClub to begin with, okay? A lot of times they probably didn't know that either you were offering ortho or that you had flexible ways of offering ortho. So, seriously, I listen to a lot of ortho podcasts, and they're telling the orthodontists this too. So if you guys as general dentists and pediatric dentists don't jump on this bandwagon like tomorrow, like January 2nd, you're going to be missing out. So let's talk about the parts that, and I know a lot about SmileDirectClub, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Y'all can look in my bio and find out how I know. Oh, I know. So what are the parts that people liked? One, they like that they don't have to go to the office every month, okay? People don't like that. There's a few people that do. Most people do not. So if there's a way that you can incorporate either virtual consults, I've got so much content on virtual consults. It's in there. Just go into my YouTube channel, put in the keyword virtual consults, or virtual tracking. Again, there's a lot of HIPAA compliant options for virtual tracking. Some cost money, some are free. Got a lot of content on that. Into your ortho protocol, or even any type of dentistry protocol, you're going to attract a certain type of patient. These are the busy patients. These are the zillennials, the millennials that just don't like the idea of having to go for unnecessary reasons into an office. And yes, it's unnecessary to go into an office every month for an ortho exam, unless you're in braces. But if you're in clear aligners, that's absurd if your patient's coming every month. That's absolutely absurd, unless they literally are obsessed at seeing you, and trust me, they're not. They don't want to see you. So there are, granted, in our offices, we have a lot of older patients doing ortho in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and no, they do want to come in every month because they don't want to deal with an app on their phone. But the ones that are 30 and under, or 40 even, give us 40 people a chance, they like to have options. And 1 month they want to do things one way, and 1 month they want to do things the other way, depending on how busy they are, if they're traveling or whatever. Okay, number two, virtual consults are huge. You guys should all be doing virtual consults. I should be able to Google virtual Invisalign or virtual orthodontic consult near me, and your name should pop up. So you need to be using that scripting, and you need to have a HIPAA compliant way. Just do it yourself on your computer, and you're going to see what all these people are doing. Most of them are orthodontists, and you're going to be like, oops, how come I'm not doing that? You're a ding dong if you're not doing that, because this is a great way to get new patients, and it doesn't cost you anything. So, these are leads. People at 1 a.m. are like, oh, let's see if someone, who's the fastest person that's going to give me feedback? Yeah, you don't have to reply instantaneously, but you need to reply within 1 business day. Into screening, and then the goal is to get them into the office after that. Wow, yeah, you look like a great case, a great candidate. I think we definitely can see you. Probably won't take that long. Don't give specifics, because obviously you're going to need to take x-rays, and you're going to need to do things the right way. And this is the things we learned from things that many people have learned. I kind of knew this already. But yeah, you're going to need to have a pano x-ray. That should be standard of care, So the goal is to get their butts in to finish the consult, so that you can close it and get them started and take that scan. So what else? So virtual consults, virtual check-ins, and then the other thing would just be having flexibility in how the treatment plan is. Not all treatment plans have to be long. Not all treatment plans have to be 2 years. Not all treatment plans have to be front and back. Sometimes they do, but I always recommend creating perfect first, the treatment plan, showing them perfect so they understand it, the risks, benefits, and all alternatives are perfect, and then listening to what they only want. If they are only really wanting this tooth, and this tooth straight, sometimes it's not possible, but sometimes it is. So sometimes we can do an improved or a limited plan, which only meets their objectives. Now, I tell you guys, whenever you do these, you need to consider the risks, benefits, and alternatives. And if you don't know how to do this, you should be working with an orthodontist on this initially until you get your feet wet a little bit and you understand a little bit more of the risks. but you need to pick the right cases for this kind of improved. You can't do damage. They need to always be better off than how they were. So I'm obviously not going to probably do this on a case that, had an anterior crossbite or something like that, because if they don't stop and we only get halfway there, and I'm going to have them worse temporarily or permanently. So things like that. Also, you need to consider something, an alternative aligner brand that unless you are like crazy high up Diamond Plus and you have almost no lab fees, or unless you just have so much cash in your office that you can float these patients and pay the lab fee until you get in the black, until you get in the clear on their payments. These type of patients, most of them, they like the $99 down or the $199 down and the $99 a month. Yeah, you can use something like Cherry or Care Credit, but most of these patients don't qualify for that. Some do, and some don't want to. Some don't trust the government. I mean, I've had a lot of patients that are like, I'm not putting my information in there. I'm just going to pay cash. Well, great then, I'm going to put you on automatic billing, ACH billing, going to come from your checking account. It's going to bill you every month. But if I do that, unless I know this patient for a really long time, and you may, if it's in your GP practice, you might know this family and they're really good people and legitimately they're going to pay their bills. You have zero concerns the bills are going to get paid. But if you don't know this family, don't do that. If they're not willing to do Cherry or Care Credit or Compassionate or one of these ones, then the other option is that you do one of these companies I recommend. So try looking up the word batch printing. So batch printing just means that you're using a white label aligner service. I have a lot of content on this. And you're only spitting out as many aligners as they pay for. And this is exactly how SmileDirectClub worked. If you went on payment plans, they didn't send you all the aligners up front. You got five uppers, 5 lowers, or 3, however much you paid for. And then you could, when we've shown that those tracked, boom, we order the next 3. That way, we're only paying for 3 aligners at the time, upper and lower. That's $18 per aligner. Well, now your lab fee per month or per every time you push the button is about $150, $200, not $1,900, $2,000. So you're never underwater on this case. And again, as long as you pick the type of case where there's no damage done if they stop or pause, again, you got to pick the right type of case. You can grab these type of patients for very little overhead and make a lot of profit. So definitely reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks.